Okay, so I don't have a podium, and I certainly don't have a gavel. Gavel is one of those words that I wish I would have never even been introduced to because that's scary. So when I had to sort of measure my own actions in order to keep everybody at, I wouldn't say at bay, but keep everybody at an as my equal, see eye to eye with other people. That was definitely probably not a word that I was allowed to use. The gavel belongs to somebody that is committed to making decisions that are not emotional, um, induced, or they don't sprout from any sort of emotional sentiment or beginning, right? Um, Either way, me and my prose, I swear I might be a writer someday. So I have to consider all my vocabulary. Unless you're in my head. If you're in my head, forget it. You're gonna hear all my Spanish and French. Okay, so we are gonna play the random Bible today, and we're gonna read it and we're gonna try and apply it to whatever's going on today. But before that, I do just want to mention that I'm very upset with. I think Maxine Waters. I think that California's issue with their whole legislative branch is that they don't have a limit. They don't have a term limit on the people that are representing other people, so that if there is a change, um, so I think that they prey on young people. They prey on the younger kids that are more hopeful. They're expecting things to change. They're expecting that if they're just behaved, because when they obviously, I mean, and these are kids that are coming from a good family. There's going to be kids that are just going to go out and loot and riot too, because, and actually those are Maxine's responsibility mainly, because those are the ones that she's trying to entice into solving their problems in a very self-destructive way. But the people that are trying to, the parents that are trying to educate their kids, and just patience is a virtue, and all the virtues. I'm going to go ahead and like soak in all that anger. It's like, that's true. I have to agree with your parents. You have to have these virtues. Somebody else has to absorb that repercussion. So the title of my video is Ricochet. Ricochet is when you think that you made it in, um, or you don't, and it sort of, hey, you know what? The way I remember it, Ricochet is in my favor, because when all these Democrats have tried to crap on me about accepting drug dealers and hookers, thugs and whores, like I always say, thugs and whoresomes. I mean, I can get more creative than that, except I just don't have the patience. They don't deserve much of my attention, really. I mean, I would rather dedicate my vocabulary to other issues. Either way, keeps me busy, right? So Ricochet is more. It's a beautiful thing, really, when it works in your favor. And in the case of the Democrats, I really don't think that it's going to be working in their favor. I think that um, really what these politicians remind me of is the end of Satan. And Satan knows that he's in his last days. So if he's in his last days, he's going to get more and more desperate. He's going to get, he knows he's going to go after everybody else because that's what he thinks. Because that he didn't want to humble himself to God. That's why. That's the only reason why. That's why there is the Sermon on the Mount, the Beatitudes. It's all dedicated to humble people. If you can't accept God, don't drag everybody else down with you. And yeah, ricochet is a great word. Okay, so either way, the the person that I really do want to address, not that because of my lack of resources, I can't necessarily. I'm pretty sure that, okay, so let's talk about Maxine Waters. Let's start there. Maxine Waters is a very highbrow, low values career politician, doesn't care but to pay lobbyist individual that is representing the third biggest city in the world, is it? The third biggest city in the world. Wow. Okay. So how do we control this woman from the way that she's representing us in the internet in international realm and the trans and intrastate realm? How do we look when this person incites riots in Los Angeles in the um, I would say early 1990s? Look, you are not above the law and you are not the queen. I don't care what Beyonce calls Black woman as a queen. It doesn't make you official. It just makes you like, yeah, sure. Nobody cares that you have frizzy hair. Nobody really does. Maybe you are a queen with your frizzy with the frizzy hair you have. I have frizzy hair. Some forget you. I really don't care to fucking be condescending, and I don't care to be relating to you at all. Okay, you have to realize that you are not in a position to lead. You are not in a position. You are paying people to keep you in power, Maxine, with an attitude. You're so, you cannot get people on the bandwagon. So what do? You can't get people on your sorry little bandwagon. You go off to different states where you think that you're going to have support. Why would it be Minnesota? I wonder. I bet if we dug just a little deeper, there's a whole lot of darkness to you, my friend. There's a whole lot of darkness. So you have to stop and you have to get the hand. Okay? So and you have to shut the pie hole. You shut the pie hole, Maxine, and you get the hand. And you get a big L on your forehead. Okay? So leave us all people that don't want to actually get on the bandwagon with you the freaking alone. Have some dignity. Don't you want to win a vote by who you are and not just by enticing people? No, because you're ridiculous. You're some, like I said, highbrow, low values, just want to like wing it through life. You have no substance in you. You're done. You're dead. Done. Oh, did I just get in trouble by saying you're dead? You are. You're a dead soul. And you would never catch me. I would never touch you with a 10-foot pole. And you would never catch me anywhere near you. You like to entice people that are going to go and commit the crime in your name for you to take advantage of them, and you do nothing other than to create this ridiculous $1 trillion bill that is going to save who and what and why. Okay. You are not, you're ridiculous, because you know what? As I've said, is every single demographic in this world has both its good and its bad people. Its good people are going to do make life better. The bad people are just are going to pretend that they're making life better. Oh, and excuse my little, what is it? Uh yeah, you know what? I don't exactly have my morning voice right now. It doesn't matter. I can speak to, if Nancy wants to make fun of AOC because she has some sort of like an innocent sort of uh, her the way she comes across might be a little bit more innocent than what Nancy would expect. Well, guess what? Nancy herself also has this very little. It's not soft spoken. It's yeah. It's you have not necessarily. You're not, that's not a conversation where I really want to get into, actually. That could mean so many things, and I really don't want to become friends with Nancy or AOC at this point. Okay, that's not my point, because I can, as a woman, I can find like so many, and a woman that is a heck of a lot more independent than these two. I can tell you that. Oh yeah, by far, by far, and um, it is just a little bit more. Well, what's the word? I have less of an ego trip. I don't care about power. I care about other people trying to take power from me, and then just kind of, and that's not necessarily always being defensive in a reactive way, because trust me, when Democrats try to get me to react, oh man, they're in for it, because we'll be there all day long, all the way until the point where they regret the you know that they actually even tried to get to me. Even so, so Maxine Waters, um, I'm a Joe Collins girl. I'm a Donald Trump girl. Donald Trump, he's still he's a president of the day for most Americans, whether you like it or not. Piss and moan, kick and scream, do everything, incite people. It's not going to change anything. You're just making things worse for yourself, honey. um the people that have the values of a Republican Party are not looking out for themselves. They're looking out for how being a better person and being a good contributor to the community and doing everything that they know that it's right for them is also going to keep other people from harm. That's what the Republican Party is. This is what the youth needs to understand, except that Maxine Waters is trying to block them from that. Young people are young people, but young people should not be running this country. Maxine Waters is the most undeveloped, um, immature. I've she must have been faking it through this whole, and that's actually possible because so was Joe Biden. They fake it through the whole time because they have challengers. They had real challengers as they were trying to get into a position of power. Now there are challengers, just maybe people sort of, um, I don't, or they, anyhow, lost my train of thought for a little bit. Excuse me. Oh, that must be it's my wine. Oh my God, seriously. I'm not going to edit that, by the way. That was it, seriously. Okay, so that was it. I just had a little burp. Um, so that's why these people are bringing um, like little AOCs into the scene, and Rashiba Tobar and Iman Omar, and people that are weird. I honestly is these women have not gained any respect, but neither has Kamala. But Kamala is their vice president. Oh my God! If Kamala has their back, so I don't really. I think it's decent, very gentlemanlike of men to say that they have they respect other women. Their wives would probably be like, they'll get their hair mopped by these ghetto Congress official, so-called official people. So they have to play this card. Well, guess what? Where does that leave the rest of us? Why are these people being the officials when all they're trying to do is diminish us? They're trying to diminish us. They're trying to elevate. They're trying to get like to a position that is on everybody else's backs. That's what they do. They did it because of being at the right place at the right time, having the right friends, getting their back stretched, et cetera, et cetera. That's all they are. They don't have another chance at recreating what they did. It would take a miracle for them to actually be the person that actually did step up and did something. It would take a miracle. They're not going to step up and do anything different. They're just going to play a card for other politicians that are going to play them, and that everybody else is going to have to pay for. That is my total 100% opinion about these women. You want to talk about woman empowerment? You want to talk about women equal pay? Women better start acting with a little bit more dignity than the women that are being voted onto these positions. Very possibly fraudulently, because we all know about, and I shouldn't be spreading this around, right? Because if I create, this is a problem. If I am the person that's influential and actually say so, then just because I said so, it throws the whole case off. I don't think so. There is hard evidence. There's hard evidence that you can use with machines if you can just get these engineers who created this program for electronic voting to produce that information. Guess why Democrats will say, you don't have the evidence? You don't have, do you know why these criminals, these Democratic criminals say that we don't have the evidence? They know they destroyed it. They know that they have destroyed it. Duh. oh, yeah, we don't have the evidence. We've actually asked for it for a long time so that we can analyze it, and we don't. So now we are basically on a very, very large, greater scheme of things. The domestic, abused, battered wife to these criminals that just want us to always be the begging dogs at their side. That's what it has become. That's what it has come to. Okay, so you can sue me. You can do anything you want. You can't argue against the truth. And forget talking about a conscience. I mean, I don't care about your conscience. I know how dirty people are and how lost they are and what lost cause they are. I care about preserving mine and about exactly what I saw going on through my participation, not because anything was pushed on me, because I want to make better decisions in my life, because I want to cultivate my mind and grow and be a better person every day, which is what everybody should be thinking about for other people in a leadership position, not in a shitting position. Stop letting and to the youth, stop letting people shit on you. Don't get online and try and talk about people that what am I supposed to think? I don't have a gun. What if people like you lived around me, right? And I didn't agree with your decision to go be hostile and violent. But then I also can't call the cops to come in and interfere, which I've always done. I've always done that. You cannot drag everybody down with you. There's going to be people that are going to stick up for themselves and not necessarily rely on joining a group and getting on the bandwagon over anything. That goes for every color. Watch the movie. I've watched every gangster movie in the world. Watch American Me, right? Is it American Me? With like every different color gangster. Okay, there you go. All you were missing was Asians, and believe me, those are around too. Okay, so let's go ahead and do uh, Bible random. Okay, so I can't look. Okay, so I'm picking from the Old Testament because I know it comes at the beginning, and it was Genesis. I'm going to do chapter 23, purchase of a burial place. The span of Sarah's life was 127 years. She died in Kiriatharba, that is Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham performed the customary mourning rites for her. Then he left the side of his dead one and addressed the Hittites. Although I am a resident alien among you, sell me from your holdings a piece of property for a burial ground, that I may bury my dead wife. The Hittites answered Abraham, Please, sir, listen to us. You are an elect of God among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our burial sites. None of us would deny you this burial ground for the burial of your dead. Abraham, however, began to bow low before the local citizens, the Hittites, while he appealed to them. If you will allow me room for burial of my dead, listen to me. Intercede for me with Ephron, son of Zohar, asking him to sell me the cave of Machpelah that he owns. It is at the edge of his field. Let him sell it to me in your presence at its full price for a burial place. Okay. All right. Looks like we have there's a little bit of a backstory missing there. It's probably, I don't know if it's going to be coming up like any other book, but all right. But the first thing that strikes me is Abraham is right, Sarah's wife. Okay, so there's a lot of things in the Old Testament that really do actually ring true to what's going on in these days. Like I know people in this society like to be flashy, and the better people are the people that are really like living in very like um, suburb, like a rural is the word I was looking for. Types of places where I just think that it's really hard to have faith in anything that happened in the Bible based on, unless they had a different calendar year, like they only lived like for so long and that's that sort of thing. And then of course, um, okay, I'm still eating my lunch apparently. Okay, so either way, how do we apply Christians do not have to get off their high horse, Mr. President Barack Obama. I'm not going to try and be like all like insolent or anything, but um, I voted for you, and I do think that I should have voted for Romney. But you obviously made it there, and it's not going to stealing the election for Biden was not the way to go. It was just more like, okay, continue on. Either way, uh, so I think that the only like real message from the Bible that comes to mind is the prodigal son, like maybe Abraham was a prodigal son that went on, like he's the one that went like left to go and seek this other land. And does that mean that I have anything against Jew people? I mean, does that mean that I believe that there was like this other special Islamic angel that is better than the true God? No, and no. It just means that we're not all necessarily thinking about who God truly is in our own lives and how that should make a difference in how we conduct ourselves and the way that we impact other people. Because I don't know about you, but most of the time is I tell myself, God loves you, like God loves me. But God also created this creature and he loves them too. So what do? You have to put yourself on check. You have to put yourself and realize, what is this person's role? How do we work together? What do we do from here? And that is what's going to create real progress. If you can't do that, if you can't acknowledge the fact that we are all created in the image of God, the true God, the only God, I don't care what you read. Reading the Bible to me is sufficient. I really don't have to. I don't want to disrespect anybody else's inventions of a religion. I do believe, and I'll share that there are some religions that are just an invention. It's just the truth. It's like it happens, people try to invent their own religion. And okay, so either way, if you can't accept the fact that this is the word of a creator that wants the best for us and that has given us all the different rules to avoid pain and destruction for each other, then I can't agree with you, because this is the most stringent, the most rigid, the more upright, the more realistic in consideration of our nature. And I don't care to debate that with anybody. I mean, if you just want to, I can't, and I don't agree with Kamala saying that we don't need prayers. Guess what? When you believe in my Lord and in my Bible, there's something that's called the afterlife. It's called the eternal life. It's called the life that when you go, and I do believe that in some ways, God might want to take the good people that he wants to spare from more harm. As angry as it gets us because of our own ego, because we wanted things to go our way, because we wanted to have this, great leader and person in our life. There's more than meets the eye. So if I were to go today, I would advise, if I were to get, oh, but no, I'll be spared, I'm sure. Um, I can think of many reasons why, but that is my religion. Is you believe in the afterlife. Is you don't just believe in this life. You don't believe in this instant. You don't believe in how nice things could have been. You don't want to hang on to what happened yesterday and what you you could have done to avoid it and take responsibility and that sort of thing. Well, and I'm going to rephrase that actually, because if you could have done something to avoid it, it would have been to stop meddling. Stop meddling with people's lives. Don't ever consider yourself and a being at the situation that these people are in. But you do. You're encouraging people. You were not anywhere near George Floyd, Kamala, when he put himself in the situation he did. You were not anywhere near him, but you tried to act like you were like his guard keeper, and like you have no place in saying anything like that. The book of my Lord will tell me that afterlife is more important. It's going to tell me that, guess what? Prayer is important. Do you know why prayer is important? Because if you actually prayed and you believed in prayer and you believed in an afterlife, that you might avoid future losses in life. Does that make sense to you, woman? Are you even a woman? I'm going to call you an individual. Does that make sense to you as an individual? A woman is nurturing. A woman is not enabling. A woman is not a person that creates these little attack dogs everywhere. Lap dogs, attack dogs, everything. You have a problem. You have a serious problem up here. I never wanted to mess with scummy people like you. That's including the crackhead that you like to protect. Yeah. Guess who? Yeah, there's a whole list of them, isn't there? Okay. So that's all I have to say. Prayer is important. Keep praying. Keep praying for the people that are still here now. Make sure that these youth stay sane, sober. Go ahead and drink all the beer. I mean, drink non-alcoholic beer, light beer. Don't get wasted. I'm just saying, like, sobriety doesn't always mean sobriety in the sense of being clear-headed. Okay, so stay clear-headed and sober. Don't let people like Kamala and all her uh, what is it, the conflict of interests, and the way that she's sucked into being a part of making this world a worse place every day affect you. Be humble. Be humble. Stay strong. Keep your faith. These people are eventually going to end. They're going to go away. They're going to go away. Believe me. And with that, I'm just going to mention that I don't own a gun. Um, so I don't have a crew. I've never joined gangs. I stay away from anybody and everybody. I'm a very objective and calculating person in a good way. I'm not going to let other people smear me, and I'm not going to let other people try to smear my own children and the children that are out there now and that they're trying to drag into this pathetic world of their sick imagination. So you can go ahead and try and mess with me all you want, as you have before, because that's your plan, is mess with as many people as you possibly can, get them rattled up, and get them all ready to go fight the war for you. Guess what? I better see you at the front line when you create the war that you're going to bring on.